Welcome to Buzzn the Tower, a podcast dedicated to the movies of the 1980s. Our mission is to take you on a most excellent adventure through time. Buzzn the Tower is so much more than a podcast. It's the map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And all you have to do is sit back, listen, and repeat after me. Klaatu! Barata! Buzzn the Tower answers the questions you didn't even know you had. Like who would win in a fight, John Rambo or Hans Gruber? Or who is dreamier, Jake Ryan or Marty McFly? So as we rank, debate, and offer fresh takes of the best from 80s cinema, please remember, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to a podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Don't forget to subscribe to Buzzn the Tower on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. For bonus content, you can find us on all social media channels by searching our handle at Buzzn the Tower. For more podcasts, information, or to contact us with topics you'd like us to talk about, visit our website, buzznthetower.com. That's BUZZN, thetower.com. Buzzn the Tower is brought to you by Verde Media. Max, I couldn't be happier with the way our website looks.
So good.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at our website yet, you need to right away. These guys, website development, online marketing, they are outstanding. Am I exaggerating at all?
It is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend having them build you one.
I love it. I love it. Look, they're the best of the best. And working with John, their owner, a self-admitted 80s martial arts movie nerd, was an absolute joy.
Is that why you said the best of the best?
That is why I said
Yeah.
That was a tip of the hat to John. They're more than our sponsor. They're our partner. And if you are looking to build a website, they are the group to go to. Find their link on our website and check them out, Verde Media. This week's episode, How We Got to the Chopper. We're going to dive into everything Predator. This movie didn't happen by accident. It took a lot of serendipity, good luck, and Arnold Schwarzenegger to get us there. So please join us. I'm Mo Shapiro, and as always, the Dillon to my Dutch, Max Sanders. Max, are you ready for this?
I ain't got time to bleed.
You got time to podcast?
Maybe.
All right, excellent.
I'm so excited
I'm
we're
so
here.
excited. So excited. I mean, this is the topic that we've been waiting for.
So over the past 2 months, I think you and I have discussed Predator more than any two humans have ever discussed it in the course of their lives. Is that right?
It's fair. And the best part about us having our own podcast is we unapologetically can pick topics that we want to talk about. And I love all the 80s. You love all the 80s, but Predator.
This is the topic that started our podcast.
Right.
I was begging you to get on this podcast.
Right.
And I was like, what does Mo like that I can relate to? I was like,
you bribed me.
like,
with
let's
this.
do Predator. And you're like, all right.
All right. We're launching a podcast and we're going to get graphics done and a website.
Yeah.
This movie is a real special movie. It's everything. It's
an event.
Love. It is. It's everything I love about 80s movies. It brought us together. I mean, I don't want to blow you out of the water to start off, but I'm going to blow you out of the water to start off.
Bound to happen.
All right. So, one faithful evening after bartending.
You had to bring this up this early.
I want to come out the gate and let the people know that you didn't even know about the existence of this movie until...
So not fair.
How old were you?
25.
25 years old.
Quarter century without Predator.
God. So we were out having our late night pizza after bartending, and I don't even know how it came up. I think I may have said a quote from the movie.
You quote Predator once a day.
I do quote. I did so true. I said you were
so
probably
I think it came up organically.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I looked at you and you had this. I could see the look in your eye that were like, "Please don't call on me. I didn't do my homework." Look, and I just wasn't going to tolerate it. So I asked, "You've seen Predator, right?" And what did you say?
I said, screw you. And I threw a chair.
You did.
I got really upset and I cried.
I would have respected you throwing the chair. I would have appreciated that more than the alternative, which is finding out that you'd never seen the greatest film of the 80s.
I said, do it now.
Kill me, I'm here.
That would have been a great response.
That would have been an awesome response. You didn't even know to give that response because you'd never seen Predator.
I should have just guessed.
We could spend a lot of time gushing over this movie.
We are going to do that.
We could spend a lot of time talking about every scene in this movie, but today's topic is... How does this movie get made?
Yeah. How we got to the chopper.
How did we get to the chopper?
Why we got to the chopper.
Why we got to if we got to
when.
It's very existential.
Yeah.
I love this conversation.
87, by the way.
You're right.
Yeah, there's an actual answer for that one.
There is.
Yeah. What we got to the chopper?
So let's start with this. People who are hearing this will probably question, why do you love this movie so much?
No, they won't.
You're
People
right.
love this
You're
movie.
Right. You're right. Why am I always making up like
you say that
excuses?
every time.
I do,
You're like,
I do.
if you're a little afraid of this podcast, it's like, don't be afraid. We're talking about awesome 80s stuff.
All right. So speaking of awesome 80s stuff, I just want to make sure we're on the same page before we start. Give me your Mount Rushmore. Give me your 4
Teddy Roosevelt.
No.
Jefferson.
I can't fact check you on that because I actually don't know. Give me your
Grover Cleveland.
Yeah. Oscar the Grouch. Give me your 4 favorite 80s action films.
Man. Predator, obviously. Predator's George Washington. He's the first one. It's right. Arnold's face, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Carl Weathers.
I don't know.
Half Arnold, half Carl Weathers.
Or actually the Predator's face.
Half Arnold, half Predator. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah. Die Hard.
All right.
Yeah. First Blood, Rambo.
Are we going to have the exact same? I'm looking at my sheet right now, and you're 3 for 3 on mine.
You definitely don't have my last one.
All right.
Indiana Jones, Last Crusade.
I don't have your last one.
Yeah. Best first scene ever.
I do love the Indiana Jones. So same list for me, except swap out Indiana Jones with Aliens.
It's too scary for me. Facehuggers, get out of here.
I know, but Aliens, I mean, Ellen Ripley, she learns how to use weapons. It's just.
Do you have a crush on her from back in the day?
I love Ellen. She's my favorite female action hero ever.
Gina Davis, Long Kiss Goodnight.
Gina Davis is great. I like
she
her,
is,
but she's no Ellen Ripley.
She's actually like an Olympic level archer.
That's great, but she's no Ellen.
I don't know why that makes her better.
Did she nurture and gestate an alien inside of her and then eventually remove that alien and still fight aliens? Because that's what Ellen Ripley did.
No, she didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Fair.
So it's important that we set the stage that right now we're talking to 2 guys who strongly believe in the power of these 80s action films. But even if I give
Cure the world.
Right. If I give them Mount Rushmore list, Predator sits a notch above all of them.
Yep.
It is structurally the best action film. I would actually make the case that it's the best action film ever made, but it certainly is my favorite action film from the 80s.
Yeah, there's no B plot. There's no, remember in Heat where it's like Natalie Portman, the daughter stuff? It's like, get that out of there. I could use 15 minutes less. There's not a single minute in Predator.
That's wasted.
Except the first 30 seconds. I know. I'm sorry. I know you like to.
You know my rule. My rule about this movie is that there's nothing critical that I have to say about this movie, but I will agree with you. If you had the audacity to criticize this movie.
Yep.
It's the first 30 seconds when they show the little alien ship dropping off. And
the director didn't direct that. They put that in post. How do you put in something that the director didn't want to do? How do you do that?
Who knows? Well, we certainly are jumping around, but that's because we're excited.
Yeah.
So let's
what this podcast is going to be.
Well, I know, but let's pull back for a second.
Well, you're the ringmaster.
For the point, I know, I'm going to reel you in.
Hose me down.
For the 0.0001% of people that are listening to this podcast right now that have never seen the movie Predator, the first thing I will tell you is go see the movie Predator.
Yeah.
The second thing we should probably do is give a synopsis.
Yeah, give me a little bit. Give me a taste.
Just a little something small.
It's fun to say the synopsis too. It
is. Well, because we'll do both. I'm going to play. I've got some canned audio of the actual trailer, but I'll give you.
It's a great trailer.
Let's start with the trailer. Here you go.
Okay.
We are a rescue team, not assassins. Now, what do we got to do?
In a part of the world where there are no rules.
We pick up their trailer at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages before anybody knows we were there.
What do you mean we?
Deep in the jungle, where nothing that lives is safe.
You lose it here, you're in a world of hurt. Showtime, kid.
Knock, knock.
An elite rescue squad.
You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
Is being led by the ultimate warrior.
We need the best. That's why you're here.
But now,
What's got Billy so spooked?
there's something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man.
Now, I'm not going to be as good as that trailer was.
You can be close. I don't know.
Be close, but I'm going to give you my synopsis of this movie. This movie is about Major Dutch. Let's pause right there, Max. Major Dutch.
First name or last name?
That doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't. His name is Major Dutch.
What if his name's Quincy Dutch?
Call him Major or call him Dutch?
Cornelius Dutch.
Major Dutch. Played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, a soldier of fortune hired by the U.S. government to secretly rescue a group of politicians trapped in Guatemala. Pretty simple.
Yeah, right to the point.
There's nothing magical about this plot.
There is a lot that's magical about this
there's
plot.
a lot. That's true. But when Dutch and his team arrive, everything goes wrong. And by wrong, what we mean is a series of soldiers and politicians skinned alive.
Just murder, death.
Everywhere.
And gross deaths, too.
Right. Absolutely terrible.
Really wet deaths.
So we find out they're hunted by a brutal creature with superhuman strength and the ability to disappear into his surroundings. This movie, Max, is if Delta Force and aliens got smushed together.
Ooh, I like that. Chuck Norris in the woods by himself.
Right, because it's got all of the elements of a classic 80s band of mercenaries, killers that are turned good. They're trying to do good things.
Was this a trope before this came out, or did this make the trope?
So,
because I can't think of the things before it. I'm like the godfathers of this.
There definitely are, action films out there, but I don't recall there being this strong sci-fi element to a classic 80s action film.
It took like a pinch of Commando, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a little bit of the tech of War Games.
It brought everything in.
Yeah.
And actually, to that very point, you had brought this up earlier, but I'll let you speak to it. The timelessness of this movie.
Oh, my God.
Is because they did some things very smart that allowed this movie to still be relevant and fun to watch today. And I'm ignoring the fact that all the special effects in this movie still hold up today, and they're really cool.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're most really real effects.
But go ahead. You had some good stuff.
So, name me the pop culture reference this movie makes. Name me one. Where they're like, oh, I saw this last night, or did you catch the game, or I can't believe nothing.
I mean, Jesse Ventura's t-shirt is the closest thing that I can think of.
Yeah. Well, that could be vintage nowadays. MTV rules, okay? And he had tucked into dad jeans, which is the look nowadays. You know what I mean?
Do you remember when MTV actually played music videos on it?
Yeah. You know what's funny?
That makes me sound so old to say that.
I have a shirt, actually, that I bought. It's that MTV logo, but it's all throughout the shirt. It's a button-up, and I got it because Jesse the Body Ventura was rocking it.
Sure, makes sense. Absolutely.
But like I said, there's no technology. Like, they had radios in the 60s for World War II, like Get Me Charlie on the phone or whatever the Vietnam stuff is.
Charlie was the bad guy, so I don't know if they were trying to get him on the phone. But
you might want to talk to him.
It's all right. No, it's all right. Maybe they knew someone named Charlie. It's okay. We're moving along.
That's all you got the reference, okay? Yeah. But like I said, there's no cell phones. There's no cameras. The guns, they look like they're from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Right.
Or now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it's not futuristic, but it's not dated.
And the Predator technology, if you think about it, is still ahead of now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes the technology catches up.
Yeah.
Didn't catch up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and it just, there's a realism to an unrealistic movie. That's kind of what's fun about it to watch. So we gave our quick synopsis for that 0.0001% people who've never seen Predator.
Boo you and your life choices.
I don't even know if I could look someone in the face and treat them as a human being if they haven't seen this movie. This is like a ticket.
Did you feel that way when I said that?
No, not at all. Not
at
all. So as the little whimper at the end, I think you realize I did look at you that way. So as the title of our episode indicates, we're going to talk about how we got to this movie, how we got to the chopper.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts, the behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I think the starting point for me is, and probably one of the best parts of the whole story of this movie is the light bulb that created this movie. So they're sitting around, and a bunch of writers are in a room, and they said, Stallone is beating up everyone, right? He's beating up Clubber. He's going to take on Drago. I mean, what do we do for the next round?
And he stopped the Cold War.
Right.
Let's remember that.
Oh, what a great part. I love when the guy playing Gorbachev. I don't think they expressly.
It was actually Gorbachev. Fun fact.
Yeah, was it? They
No.
don't expressly say that it was Gorbachev, but I love when the tide turns and he just goes, Rocky.
You have a very good 80s Russian accent. I enjoy it.
Of all the things that I have talent for. We'll talk
about there's something else.
There's something else coming. Another accent. Oh, you got one too. But a bunch of writers are sitting around the writing room. I just envision this like really cool room where
I picture they're throwing like bouncy balls off the wall.
Yeah.
They're
thinking, what can we do next? And someone says, the next person that we're going to have Rocky fight is going to have to be E.T. because he's already beaten up the strongest people on Earth.
Lightning bolt.
And from that statement, someone in that room, some mad genius in that room said, yeah, I'm going to write a script called Predator. So they write the script. And the first thing that they got to do is they got to find someone to direct this movie. So they grab my friend and your friend, John McTiernan.
Johnny T.
JT in the house. Let's talk about John for a
second. There's a lot to talk about.
Can we call him John? I feel like you and I know him.
Sure, Johnny.
Johnny does Predator, which... did he do anything before Predator?
He did this weird movie called Nomads with Pierce Bronson, where it's street kids and Pierce Bronson for no reason. And how do you go from that to Predator?
Well, I think part of strategically, right? So they had the script and they knew they were going to go after Schwarzenegger. So they get Schwarzenegger. They bring the dump truck of money up to him. He's coming off of Commando, so he's
right. He's untouchable.
He is the 80s, right? So
Stallone. And we got Terminator right before that too.
Stallone. It's one or the other. So if you're doing that, it's not like you can go pay for Scorsese to direct this film. So they get a guy whose work they like and who they can work with. And that's how we get JT, Johnny T. And They grab John McTiernan. I feel weird calling him John because he's
McTiernan's hard to say.
It is.
It's like I think there's something McDonald's.
It's
about
funny
it.
because we kept him saying JT, but it's really JM because it's
just call him John.
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 Okay, so
we're focusing so much energy on his name
because he deserves our respect. They grab.
He doesn't anymore. We'll get into that. But
what?
Yeah.
What do you got on him?
He's been to jail.
What?
He went to jail in 2013 for tapping a producer's phone on 2000's Rollerball.
Is this allegedly, or he actually did?
No, I mean, the FBI arrested him and he went to jail for a year, and he's bankrupt now.
Is this just a case of like, I mean, he was super popular and he went like the Macaulay Culkin route for a while. He should be fine after a few years, right?
I mean, he's like 70.
When Macaulay Culkin lost his mind, right?
When who?
McFlicken McFlacken.
The guy from Home Alone.
The guy from Home Alone. He's doing great now. What was that, like a 20-year hiatus from being normal?
Yeah, but he looked like a cancer patient.
Okay, so
for a
listen.
long time.
Let's see. Predator was 87.
He stopped making movies in 2003.
2003
with Basic, which was a terrible John Travolta.
So in
movie.
2023,
yeah,
John's back.
We're gonna revitalize him.
Boom.
Yeah,
put him on the list. We'll do an interview with him
because he's broke too. He's filed for bankruptcy 2 years ago.
I'd hire him just to come hang out with us.
Have you heard his voice though? He sounds like Buffalo Bill. It's really uncomfortable. So you enjoy that.
Or she a great big fat lady.
I'm so mad that movie's not in the 80s.
I know. We'd be doing. We would definitely be doing a
combo one
right now. So John, after doing Predator, which if you want to know why his life fell apart, it's because he reached the apex of his life. He went from Predator. I'll put this out there. Has there ever been a greater trio of movies in cinema than Predator, Die Hard, Hunt for Red October? Max, tell me.
Only things I can think of are Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, and Casino, Goodfellas, Cape Fear from Scorsese.
Okay,
but they're not as fun. And
okay, but to your point, those are the ones you can think of.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, you got John McTiernan.
Yeah,
who belts out these three. And then, by the way, I don't want to go too deep into the rest of his movies because they're out of the 80s, but Medicine Man, Last Action Hero, and The 13th Warrior.
Love Last Action Hero.
Have you seen The 13th Warrior yet?
I've seen The 12th Warrior once.
No, that's good. But I know
you hate when I do that.
I don't hate when you do it. I don't like you, but I don't hate when you do that. When I know, to be fair, so everybody knows, you have committed an enormous amount of time to watching 80s films.
I'm watching like 3 or 4 a day.
I'm cranking them out. I'm texting you. I'm like, hey, I need you to watch The Secret of NIMH. And you're like, what is The Secret of NIMH? And then boom, you watch
I'm iPad watching Weekend at Bernie's as we're talking right now.
Right? So I'm not going to get on you for not watching The 13th Warrior, but The 13th Warrior is just one of these films that not a lot of people, it wasn't critically acclaimed. It's Antonio Banderas. But
I like Antonio.
But it's my favorite Antonio Banderas film. And it's a classic John McTiernan film.
Okay, cool. Like it a lot. Yeah. And also shout out Die Hard with a Vengeance. One of my favorite, best New York movie.
Yeah. He did. That's right. He did the other Die Hard.
And Thomas Crown was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Got back with Piercy.
Well, I only picked the ones that I like, but yes.
Well, you don't like Thomas Crown affair?
I don't dislike it, but if I'm given the highlight reel.
Renee Russo doesn't do it for you?
No.
Oh.
No. She's not terrible. I just am not a huge fan. That's all.
We'll talk about that later. She's part of the 80s.
That's also
Barnes.
So they get Schwarzenegger. I bet at some point they were thinking about getting Stallone. Schwarzenegger, two biggest icons.
There's no research on that though, you know?
None. This is my gut just tells me that if you were ever shooting an action film in the 80s, at one point you thought of one or the other.
I guess that they went for Arnold first and got him.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's what you do.
Well, this transitions well into talking about Arnold, right? So Arnold Schwarzenegger, who... Again, gun to my head, if I had to pick who is my action hero of the 80s, it's either going to be... He won. I know. Well, look, Stallone makes a hell of a case. First Blood is an incredible movie.
True.
First Blood stands on its own, not just as an action film, but it's just a really good movie.
Yeah, and he's got some fun ones too. Tango and Cash, Over the Top.
Tango and Cash. Cash and Tango. Don't say Over the Top. Can we treat Over the Top like Rocky V and exclude it from the...
it's great. It's got Kenny Loggins songs in it too. If you got a Kenny Loggins song, you are part of my family, okay?
Yet. Kenny Loggins.
I don't like the guy.
Kenny Loggins views his work on Top Gun is the worst thing he's ever done. And
Such an idiot.
And not what he did for Over the Top, but that's neither here nor there. So, Schwarzenegger, 1982, Conan the Barbarian. 1984, Conan the Destroyer.
Saw the first one. Haven't seen the second one yet. Wilt Chamberlain? Is it fun?
Wilt Chamberlain in the second one. Very fun.
He punches a camel in the first one.
Punches the same camel in the
same
second
camel?
one.
No
well,
way.
I don't know if it's exact
How
same.
did PETA feel about that?
Not good. Well, I don't even think PETA was kicking back then.
Oh, man.
1984, The Terminator.
So good.
1985, Red Sonja, another spin-off of the Conan series.
Got it. Weird name.
Very weird name. 1985, Commando is our friend John Matrix. Fantastic film.
Such a good movie. Best soundtrack of all time.
You know, we've talked about this. It's not a soundtrack. It's the score of that movie. That ding, ding, ding,
Steel
ding,
drums.
Ding. It's the worst. As I've told you, I will not complain about anything about Predator. The only 2 issues I have with Commando are that score and the fact that the bad guy in Commando is in worse shape than I am, and I'm in pretty terrible shape. Bennett's the worst.
So we're 85.
85 Commando. 86 Raw Deal.
Need to see it.
Oh, you need to see Raw Deal. 87, I know you've seen this. Predator and The Running Man.
Which one came out first?
I don't know. But
Okay.
I love that they both came out in the same
That's a great year.
Yeah.
We
Ben
should
Richards?
We should do a pod who had the best year in the 80s.
Oh, we already know who had the best year.
Was it Arnold?
Yeah.
That year?
Yeah.
There might be a better year.
There's nothing better. He had Running Man and Predator.
What about like Eddie Murphy with like Beverly Hills Cop, Delirious, and like his hit single Party All the Time?
Okay, well, if you're going to go off of film, I would...
No, I'm just saying the best year.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
Like you had the best time. But it's movie related.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, possible comment.
Yeah. Did Arnold ever cut a single?
Put a pin in that.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I might want you to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
He did though. He enjoyed himself.
He might sound as good as Eddie Murphy did. Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time is
It's pretty bad.
And hold on, I don't even think I
You're at 87.
I didn't even. Did I do Red Heat for 88?
Nope.
Red Heat 88, and then he rounds out the 80s with Twins in 88.
Need to see that one.
Oh, Twins is great.
Yeah, DeVito.
Oh, it's great.
Matching suits.
Yeah,
Made 400.
Julius.
It made $400 million.
Danny DeVito is fantastic.
Danny DeVito's underrated in general.
Well, you and I both love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh
which
my
I think
God,
is some of his
Frank.
best work.
So I started blasting.
Oh, that's great. So they get Arnold, and listening to Arnold talk about Predator is like should be a pastime for me. When they asked him,
It's his favorite movie.
It is. Well, they said, why did it do so well? His answer, all the heroes were impressively muscular and big. That is his answer for why Predator did as well as it did.
He's not wrong.
No, he's right. He's 100% right. So he just finished Commando. We talked about that. And I think this is kind of an important part of how he got to the chopper. Schwarzenegger interjected a lot of input into the script. The original script was built to be a one-man show. They basically wanted to take what he did in Commando, which was like going a murder spree. I mean, you could make the case Rae Dawn Chon was with him in Commando.
She was.
He
ruined her car.
He did ruin her car.
I'm always fixated on that.
I know. They just ripped the chair out.
Like he's murdered 200 people, and I'm like, but her poor car chair.
I'm always fixated by the fact that she learned how to use a rocket launcher by reading like the little tag on it.
Yeah, she went A to Z pretty quickly.
Yeah,
on
she
that
managed
one.
to blow up a cop.
How hard's a rocket launcher though? You press a button, right?
Well, think about the fact that she shot it at the police truck that he was in. She's lucky she didn't kill him.
Yeah. It's a movie though. It's okay.
It is a movie. I guess suspend the reality for a second.
But the solo Predator would have been kind of cool, like Castaway, but Predator.
I don't know. I don't want to mess with this movie. There's nothing. When you say it would be kind of cool, why do we need to change anything with the perfect movie?
It's just such a different look. You know what I mean?
I don't want a different look.
Okay.
I don't want new Coke. I want classic Coke.
I was like, what are you talking about? All right.
All right, there you go. So he immediately says, I want this to be a team. So he makes that change with the
smartest move. Brilliant.
Brilliant, right? Then on top of that, he and or John McTiernan and or the casting team made a decision right away. Dillon is going to be Carl Weathers, or there's no Dillon.
Yep.
Now this is great for a host of reasons. The first of which is, I wonder in my head, does this tie back to the original script being tied to who does Rocky fight next?
Has to.
Because Carl Weathers is like the story arc, right? Going from being the bad guy, but he was never really the bad guy.
No, you liked Apollo.
He based his character in Rocky off of Muhammad Ali, and I think Muhammad Ali got
really.
Oh yeah, if you ever watch the behind the scenes stuff,
because he wasn't like a wordsmith, you know what I mean?
No, but like if you think about Rocky 4, when he's doing the whole coming to America, or you know what I mean?
James Brown.
Yeah, James Brown. I just butchered James Brown.
No, that was good enough.
It was a little bit of a butchering. It felt like a butchering.
It was close enough.
Well, whatever. I sounded like the Eddie Murphy skit, Hot Tub.
You love this and I haven't seen it.
Oh my gosh.
You bring it up.
You gotta watch
all the time.
Hot Tub. There's an hot tub. But he based a lot of his character on Muhammad Ali, and in part, I think how people received Muhammad Ali was the same way, right? People either like loved him or they thought he was, the Antichrist, and he wasn't. He was just a guy who believed in himself.
Yeah, charismatic.
Yeah, and that's what Apollo was. So I envisioned that they were like, we got to have this guy be Dillon, and he played it great as Dillon.
Yeah, he adds levity to it. He adds a seriousness.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
The mustache.
Schwarzenegger's like, I want Creed. Give me Creed. So Carl Weathers They get him. Have you seen Action Jackson yet? I
No.
put that on your list. Okay.
Detroit Cop, right? You love Detroit Cop stuff.
I do love Detroit Cop movies. Beverly Hills Cop. Let's see what else.
RoboCop.
I almost said Beverly Hills Now too. No, RoboCop.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Murphy.
Pretty in Pink. It's a cop movie.
No, it's not a cop movie. Nor did it take place in Detroit. So they grab Carl Weathers. Then on top of
I feel like you make it sound like they just pulled him off the street.
dude,
Like, he was getting groceries and like a van came up.
But do you know what's funny?
That actually happened.
I was digging around on Carl Weathers. You know another role he had? Not in an 80s movie, but it's worth bringing up. He played one of the military police in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No way.
Which is one of my favorite Spielberg movies.
Overrated for me. Boring.
Oh, no. I think it's his best movie.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. Go watch it again. It's not an 80s movie. I know you have to find time to do it, but go watch it again.
I don't need Richard Dreyfuss and mashed potatoes.
Why don't you like Richard Dreyfuss?
He's so whiny.
He's the best.
Mr. Holland's Opus
Oh,
was really
come on,
terrible.
man. He's the
Jaws.
best.
I like Jaws.
Jaws, yeah, he's great.
When he's showing his scars. That's it.
Yeah. Show me the way to go home. Bum, bum. I'm tired and I want to go
All right,
to bed.
Predator.
All right, sorry. I know a couple of my friends that just heard that. They're
Yeah.
getting goosebumps because we sing that song quite a bit with each other.
Weird.
All right, so they grab Carl Weathers. This is the 5th time they grabbed him.
They've grabbed him.
Carl Weathers.
Well, he's a big guy. You gotta grab him a lot.
They grabbed Carl Weathers. They cooked up a story and they dropped the 6 of them in meat grinder.
6 of them. Yeah, you got it.
Usually
You say 10.
I usually say 10. Then they go and get Bill Duke.
Yeah, they do. Billy D.
Who is 50% of the greatest action film friendship ever, Blaine and Mac.
It is fantastic. There's got to be a love story behind them.
It's a bromance.
Yeah.
They're you can tell they have a genuine love for each other.
So
That's
it's him and
amazing.
Blaine, who's played by Jesse Ventura.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
the biggest dude in the movie, right? He's 6'5",
I
275.
believe so. Well, let's not jump to Jesse first. I got some cool Blaine stuff out there you want to hear. So Blaine
or Billy Mack?
Thank you, Mac. Billy
Okay.
Mac?
Wait, Billy Duke.
Billy Duke?
Billy Duke Mack.
Played Mac.
Mackie
Mac
Duke.
the Knight.
Mackie Duke.
When the nights we're flying. All right, we're flying. So
Deep breath.
Here we go. Listen. Unrelated. We'll talk about Bill Duke in a second. Unrelated to that. If there was a movie that came out that was called Blaine and Mac, the early years.
Oh, take my money right now.
Right? So here's my plan. 2023, we decided that John McTiernan's going to be available and out of his slump. We give him a call and we pitch a prequel to Predator that's just about Mac and Blaine.
Okay, you're 90% there, but the name doesn't have the pizzazz. I say Blaine's nickname is Cheese, and we get Mac and Cheese.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's like Mac and Me, the Alien movie.
It's
right?
nothing like that.
Or BJ and the Bear? Is that
No,
the...
BJ and the Bear is a gorilla, and it's like it's like a chimp, and it's from the 70s.
It's a truck driver.
Are you having a stroke?
I smell bacon.
All right, good. So we've got Mac, Billy Duke.
So what info do you have on him?
I got info on him. So he was in Commando.
Yeah, he was.
He
Scariest eyes of the 80s,
He was
right?
Cooks.
Yeah.
Cooks, too many cooks. He was Cooks. And then in Action Jackson, he was the angry police chief, which every 80s movie has to have an angry police chief.
It does.
And he was
Best
the angry
one's
police
Beverly
chief.
Hills Cop, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Lethal Weapon.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
He's a good one. And he stays with them throughout all of them.
Yeah.
And they form a
I
relationship.
want your badge.
Yeah. I want your badge and your gun. That line has got to be in so many 80s action films.
I wonder if we could do the top 10 best I want your badge and your gun.
I love that.
Yeah.
We're doing that for sure. I love it. So Mac and Cheese, thanks for sticking that in my head. So the other half of the bromance, you already said, Blaine, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Governor
Ventura.
Wait, no, senator, right?
No.
He was a senator.
Was he? Wow, how do I not know this?
Well, Arnold was a governor.
And he was the senator.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Look, we got more important things to worry about than politics. We're focusing on 80s.
It's pretty fun that like, it was like serious political, people in this movie.
He went a little bit off the reservation, but we'll talk
He's
about
been
that
hitting the head
another
a
time.
lot.
Well,
Okay,
yeah. So he, his first foray into major films, I think. Yeah, because Running Man, the only other film I can think of was Running Man, and they probably both shot around the same time.
He was great in that, too.
He was great in that. So it's interesting, if you go back, right, you got Hulk Hogan making an appearance in Rocky 3.
Yep.
You've got Jesse the Body making his appearance in Running Man and The Predator. And now you look at today.
John Cena, Dave Bautista,
Right.
The Rock.
Yeah.
And they're good.
They're
Like,
really good.
Batista's
great.
Batista's in the new Dune movie. It looks awesome. He was in Blade Runner, really good.
I really liked in Warrior
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I thought
You see
he was great.
Stuber? He's actually really funny, too.
Yeah. So Navy SEAL, demolition, underwater
Demolition. What is that?
I don't know.
Like, I didn't know explosives worked underwater.
I was looking into it, and I just thought he was a Navy SEAL, but I think he had some specialty with underwater demolition, which is crazy, but he's a tough dude. He's a real tough.
Oh my God, look at him. He was the biggest guy in Predator. 6'5", 275 with a gold cross earring, right?
Monster. Yeah. So we're rounding out the group. Let's move to some of the other guys. Poncho, played by Richard Chavez. We know anything about him? Was he in anything? Did he do anything?
Not that I know of.
Nothing of relevance to us?
No, I don't think so. Do you?
And I don't mind that.
You need role players.
Exactly. And I like
BJ Armstrong.
I like the fact that he fits with this group. You know, they all get off the chopper at the beginning of the movie, and you know, you got Mac is wearing a three-piece suit.
Beige suit.
Yeah.
Strange.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Know, being in the jungle and all. Blaine, you know, got a full lip of tobacco.
Dad jeans, the MTV shirt we've just got.
Tucked in, right. And of course, you know, Dutch.
Yeah.
Who's got the tight red polo.
It's a great look.
It is a great look.
And he's got the 5 o'clock stubble. This is the most handsome I think Arnold's ever been.
Well, he was emaciated. We're going to talk about why he was emaciated.
Yeah.
When we talk
for
about
him,
though.
For
him,
like
yeah.
a solid 250.
You can see all their jawlines.
Oh my God. You could cut diamonds with their jawlines.
Oh, the filming was brutal, but that's another tease. We'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
You hear that?
Hear what?
My timer went off.
What timer?
My carrot cake is done.
You're cooking a carrot cake?
For me and you.
When did you start cooking a carrot cake?
Don't worry about that.
So you telling me you got to go?
I got to go.
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
Ads first,
then carrot cake.
Okay, fine.
Let's do them. Buzz in the Tower is brought to you by Capsiva Pain Relieving Gel. And I can tell you that if you're sitting at a table across from a guy who has to go to the bathroom every 25 minutes, you're going to get arthritis, you're going to get muscle soreness, psoriasis. Capsiva is all natural. It's okay. Capsiva is all natural and designed to increase blood flow for the healing and pain relief process. Try it for free at capsiva.com. That's CAPSIVA.com. And you know, Max, I'm an old man and I need this kind of stuff. It works. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's like Wilford Brimley in Cocoon. You know what I mean? You feel revitalized.
That's exactly what it's like. Buzz in the Tower is also brought to you by Lindsay Larrabee Photography. If you have checked out our website, hopefully you have. You've seen the amazing photos that were put up there. Lindsay,
so good.
Yeah, Lindsay and her team did all of those.
She teased my hair.
She was fun to work with. Just made the whole experience really exciting for us. She has been taking photos of families, children, and smiles in Metro Detroit since 2017. She loves what she does, and it shows. She works with her clients, catches everything in the moment, and adores watching the connections and relationships unfold in front of her lens. If you mention Buzz in the Tower, you get $25 off any family session in 2021. You can find Lindsay on our website under our sponsors page. Check her up and get some work done. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she made us look good. She can make anyone look good.
So now, rest of the crew. Shane Black as Hawkins. What a great name. Hawkins.
Yes.
I want Hawkins' body found.
With the big Coke glasses too.
Yeah.
Really strange.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Shane Black, kind of an interesting story.
80s legend.
Right. Well, they bring him on board not just to be an actor, but because on the fly script changes, he was a script writer. While they're, I don't know if I've shared this with you or not, while they're shooting Predator, so he's in the jungle, right? He's got a little notepad with him, probably sketching out ideas.
Right.
He pens The Last Boy Scout.
Such a good movie.
Right? I mean, that's amazing. I mean, he's just sitting there saying, you know what? I think I'm going to write a movie called The Last Boy Scout. Basically, what happens if we took John McClane out of Nagasaki Towers and made him an angry private eye.
Nakatomi Plaza, all right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was Towers.
Plaza.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
And we took him out, made him an angry ex-private eye / Secret Service bodyguard.
Best football murder gun scene of all time.
Yeah, there's not a lot to go
I can't think of another one.
But yeah, so he wrote that. He wrote, unfortunately, the reboot of Predator, which I did not like very much.
Nope, really bad.
But he did the Lethal Weapons.
Yeah, that's his claim to fame. How do you bury the lead? Those are the two.
Have you ever seen Monster Squad?
No, I need to.
That's on your 80s list. I want you to catch up. Come on.
That's him? That's him?
That's him, yeah.
Okay.
He
also did Iron Man 3, which is not bad.
So, do you remember Transformers?
Michael Bay Transformers?
No. The original cartoon 80s Transformers.
Peter Cullen Transformers?
Yeah. So you have the Transformers and then you have the GoBots. Have you ever heard of the GoBots?
Sound lame.
The GoBots were lame. They were kind of like a knockoff.
What a bad name.
Monster Squad feels like a knockoff of Goonies, but it's just good enough to enjoy.
So C to D minus?
Did you just call the Goonies a C?
I didn't stutter.
Wow. I don't want to slap you on the radio, but I will open hand slap you on the radio.
We could make that like a mic drop thing. You could like make it a noise.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the reason
You only stutter when you get upset.
because I am upset because The Goonies is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think you need to watch it with me. I think that's the problem.
Can we hold hands?
No, but
Oh.
maybe I could educate you on why.
Would it
it's
be
such a
our
great
time?
movie.
Would you say when we watch that?
Up
Okay.
here,
Oh.
down here, it's our time.
That sounds creepy.
I hate you so much. So
Come down here. It's our time. It's like, what are
unreal.
we
Hey,
doing?
I'm going to transition to the next character. Your
Yeah.
your favorite character in the whole movie.
Sonny Landham.
Sonny Landham.
Has to be.
Billy.
God, craziest guy in the entire 80s.
The fact that when you hire an A-list actor for a movie, or even a B-list actor for a movie, you get a security detail because you got to keep the fans away, you know?
Obviously.
Sonny Landham, the studio hired a security detail to protect the civilians from him because he would get wasted.
He was a madman.
and he would just go beat people up.
He would bite people, apparently.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
He's scary looking, too. I mean, he's like, no joke. When you see him and Arnold together, you in your mind, you're like, who would win this fight?
Is he your favorite character in the entire movie outside of Dutch?
Yeah. I have to
Doesn't
say.
he have to be?
Because he talks in these like 3-word poems.
Yeah.
He's like, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, that's no man out there. And you're like, yeah. Well, he's the...
Oh, you can't just glaze over that.
Oh, no, Billy laugh? I'm sorry.
That's my Billy laugh. You can't just hop into your next thought. I gave you the Billy laugh.
I love the Billy laugh.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah,
It's
do it one
pretty
more time. Do it. It is your best impression.
It's my best. Well, no, you might have a better Predator impression.
I don't know. I mean, your Billy laugh is pretty legendary. We'll save mine for later.
All right, we'll save it for later. That's another tease.
Yeah.
Another tease.
But Billy is kind of the weather vane of what's going wrong. Like, everything seems more dangerous and chaotic because he seems so sure of himself. You know, he's cutting the
That
roots,
branch, yeah,
the branch, and like
yeah,
drinking.
yeah.
Like, he seems like the most self-assured guy, and instantly he knows something's wrong before everyone else.
He has the best line in the movie.
Which one?
We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
That's the best line in the movie.
Yeah. His scream at the end's pretty good, too. I wanted to see the fight with him at the end. With him
I
and
don't
the
even think it was a
Predator.
fight.
You think the Predator just ate him?
Yeah.
I love when he did the knife across the chest, the machete thing.
Yeah.
I would bet you $100 he actually cut himself.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They're like, Billy, no. I mean, like, Sonny,
Like,
no.
yeah,
Sonny, no.
Billy, no. He's like, there's no Sonny here, just Billy.
Do you think he's a method actor? He just goes for it?
I mean, he's.
Well, he plays the same guy in Midnight Run, too.
I think he was in Action Jackson also.
Really? Yeah.
I think he had a small part. God, you know, I'm not gonna guess because I'm not 100% on that.
He's been through it all. He was in adult entertainment before he became a real
Really?
star. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We won't be talking about that.
No, not anymore. So we've covered everyone except
The Predator.
the Predator. So first played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That is crazy. Muscles from Brussels.
Can you imagine just knowing what you know about him and his ego? And I don't even blame him for having ego. He's a really good martial artist. He was, wanted to have this booming career, which
Yeah.
he ended up having this incredible
Bloodsport's
career.
after this or before?
Oh God, this is all before. There's no way he went from Bloodsport to this movie.
Yeah.
I don't even have to.
Well, I
look
think
that up.
Bloodsport was cult afterwards. You know what I mean?
He came in thinking that he'd have an opportunity to show off his talent, his skill, his martial arts, his everything, and instead they stick him in the most ridiculous costume
It's awful.
ever.
Yeah. So they got like a budget prop house. And Arnold said it looked like halfway between a lizard and a duck with kind of a giraffe neck.
Have you seen the video that shows what the original Predator costume looks
It's hilarious.
like?
Well, Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'9",
Right.
and the neck is probably half of his body, and it's bright orange.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. And in addition to that,
It would have ruined the movie.
it would have ruined the entire movie.
It would have made it like Evil Dead, like a fun, campy movie. You probably still would have liked it, right?
I would have. It looked like what's the crab's name from SpongeBob SquarePants?
Sebastian.
From Under the Sea.
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs.
There it is.
No, you're right. It was
I like
Sebastian.
money.
Don't you remember in the Predator when he goes under the sea?
I don't like that. I don't like that. You're like combining my childhood with nightmare stuff.
No, it looked like Mr. Krabs. Like
Yeah.
that's what the original Predator looked like. So I only give that a quick nod because it then takes us to who the actual Predator was and who rounds out the rest of the cast, which is Kevin Peter Hall, which you've got a sweet spot in your heart for because he's a giant like you are. You're 6'5", 6'6"?
I am 6'5".
Oh my.
I mean, he's 7'2". I mean, he is a giant. And the weird thing is, at that point, normally if you have those actors above 7 feet, they got like the pituitary gland, the Andre the Giant, the 1-1 from Game of Thrones. You know, they look freakish. This guy looked like they stretched Denzel Washington into just a beautiful, taller man. Handsome guy.
Yeah. And he moved so softly. Like, it wasn't like an awkward, falling over himself kind of guy.
It looked like he owned the jungle. And he had a black belt in Kung Fu, professional level ballet dancer.
A 7'2" ballet dancer.
I know, crazy,
That's
right?
wild.
And also, he played Harry in Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh,
one of your favorite
movies.
movies.
I do love Harry and the Hendersons.
Never seen it.
Oh, you haven't
No.
seen it yet? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you love Lithgow. You'll love Harry and the
I do love
Hendersons.
Lithgow. Is it angry, upset Lithgow or normal Lithgow?
He gets a little bit of his angry.
Okay.
So it's like it's definitely not Footloose Lithgow.
Oh, I love Footloose.
It's not Dexter Lithgow either.
I like that
Do
one
you know
too.
Dexter's coming back? Did you hear about that?
I've had enough of Dexter for 5
No,
seasons.
come on.
After Trinity Killer, I was done.
Oh my god! All right, fine.
It was terrible. It was the worst ending in the
Okay,
movie.
but maybe this is their retribution. Give them a shot. Don't they earn a shot?
That's true. Yeah, we need something.
Come on.
But
We're not going to have McTiernan doing Mac and Blaine the early years for 3 years.
Yeah, we could rush production. But my favorite part about Kevin Peter Hall, he was on a 1985 show called Misfits of Science, and it was about high school kids with superpowers. And also, Friends, Courtney Cox was in it as a kid.
I feel like I now am one of 3 people in the world who know that information.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was
I
like,
can't believe you even found that.
no. I mean, apparently it's a popular show. He could shrink down to like really small size, so it's
wild.
ironic because he's
That's
so
absolutely
small.
wild.
But also, you'll be missed, Kevin Peter Hall. He died in '91,
Oh,
so
that's a
Predator
bummer.
2 was his last movie.
He had who did he play? They gave him a cameo in Predator.
He was a helicopter driver at the end.
Helicopter.
How'd they smush him into a helicopter?
Is he a helicopter driver or a helicopter pilot? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's driver.
Yeah,
I mean, no, pilot. God, I got it wrong twice. Chopper driver.
He's a chopper driver. He's a chopper driver.
I know stuff.
You know stuff.
So
So
things.
as we forge forward on how we got to the chopper, we just rounded out the cast.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to mention before we kind of hop into some of the more fun stuff that we're going to talk about.
Is there less fun stuff?
Well, yeah, it's all fun, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I mentioned this before. I wanted to talk about this.
You're getting serious on me.
I'm serious. 3 favorite scenes from this movie.
Jeez. On the spot.
I want you to go. I want to see how many of them are tied in the ones I got.
The first Dillon encounter in the bar, the dingy bar.
Was it a bar? I don't think it was a bar.
What was it?
Like a little office hut.
There was like a fan and like
Yeah.
a table for.
What kind of bar have you been in that has no alcohol in it?
I mean, I don't know.
To be fair, though, I don't know that you've ever been in an office.
Yeah.
So it's fair that you thought that was a bar instead of an office.
It looked like no one was there, like a desert
Sorry,
bar.
I'm interrupting. Go.
I'm flustered.
I'm sorry. When he first sees Dillon.
Yeah, and they do the handshake that rocks the world.
You mean the one where the sound barrier gets broken?
Yeah, like 2 Mack trucks just crashed into each other.
No, all kidding aside, like what possibly could have been done to make that sound? I've been trying to recreate the Dillon Dutch handshake with my friends.
Redwood snapping in half. That's, I don't know. Rhinos with helmets bashing into each other.
It is one day when civilization has advanced 200 years, 300 years from now, and they're trying to understand what love is, what hate is, what masculinity is. That scene will be the defining point of
It's masculinity.
is.
Absolutely.
It's unreal.
The veininess of the arms.
The whole part of it. I mean, he comes in, right? He's just got off the chopper. I'm gonna hop in on this.
Take it.
This is one of
Take
my
it.
favorites as well. So we'll overlap each other on this one. They hop off the chopper. He gets inside. He sees the general, whose name is irrelevant to me right now, who's kind of filling him in on what's going on. His response is, why don't you have your army guys do this? Why this isn't a job for me and my men. We're not mercenaries. We're rescue team.
Who chimes in? From the back.
Dillon.
From the back. From behind him,
from
too.
behind him says, because some damn fool said you were the best.
That's an arrogant move to not introduce yourself and just
hang
wait in
out
the corner.
hide? Yeah. And at first, Arnold's Dutch, is so excited. Dillon!
Yeah.
The hand slap, the you son of a, it was just amazing.
And you wonder what's happening when they start grimacing. You're like, what's going on?
Oh, they're testing. I love that they're testing.
Did you know right away what they were doing?
I didn't.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I just remember.
I thought they were
thinking,
pooping.
Jesus Christ. But they transition then from like this, and then you get the what CIA's got you pushing too many pencils.
And Dillon wearing like a little suit with a
not
short
even a
sleeve
suit. Not even a suit. He's wearing the world's tightest dress shirt.
Painted on. Yeah.
It's body paint and a tie, and the sleeves are rolled like mid bicep.
Are they roll? I think it's just a t-shirt. Like it's one of those.
That is
okay.
a dress shirt.
Okay,
He's got a dress shirt rolled up to his biceps.
Yeah, ugly tie too.
Ugly tie, but
yellow and brown, not a good look.
Great, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So that's your one. Give me your other two.
Okay, we got the final Arnold fight scene with the Predator.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like it adds horror to it. Like the Michael Myers, the Predator will not stop. And plus, Arnold yelling at the Predator, "Do it! I'm here!
Kill me, I'm here, do it now!
Yeah, and like the Swiss Family Robinson, the MacGyver him with all the stuff.
All right.
And also, you finally see how big the Predator is. When he picks Arnold up, he's 9 feet tall.
Yeah, like a doll.
Yeah, that's the first time you really get the clear shot of the Predator.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna fight you on it. What's your third?
Third would be the first communists breaking into the camp scene where they're all kind of together.
Knock, knock.
Yeah. Hang around. Or wait, what is it? Stay put?
Stick around.
Yeah. Improvise.
Stay put, sir.
It's Arnold improvising. It's not that great.
The guy who's in there, who's like a pretty built guy, I think he's the first one he kills.
You're super into this for some reason.
I love it. Is, I believe, either like his personal trainer or like a buddy of his, and also makes an appearance. Remember in The Running Man? Remember the personal security guy who walks around with Killian?
Yep.
That's the same guy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I also think he's in Red Heat, but I could be wrong on the Red Heat. Good three.
Good to be Arnold and his friends.
I'm with you on the initial scene.
Yep.
The other one I love is, I guess it's kind of the scene you're talking about, but I fast forwarded a little bit to when you've got Blaine and Pancho, which this leads perfectly into a Pancho quote for a minute. But you're hit. You're bleeding.
I ain't got time to bleed.
You got time to move?
You got time to duck?
Oh, yeah. I blew it.
Yeah.
I blew it. Okay, now we're even for me saying, hello, stay here for a minute, please.
Listen, the helicopter driver is very upset with you right now.
All right, I'm going to jump off of before I give my third, I want to go to your quote, or not your quote, your imitation. Your Pancho imitation is the best.
So
set the scene.
Watching this movie so many times, my favorite line actually ends up being Pancho gets hit by one of their self-made booby traps. He gets hit by like
no. The Predator shoots a tree and splits it, and I think that there is.
I thought it was one of the booby traps.
Maybe, you know what? I'm wrong.
Nature attacks Pancho. Nature attacks Pancho in some way.
It could have been.
And they're like, "Can you keep going?" He goes, "I can make it."
You sound just like him.
I just love it.
It's just so absurd. This one line, you sound just like him.
Yeah. Well,
do it again.
I can make it.
Crack your voice. Crack your voice.
I can make it.
There you go. That's it. When you cracked your voice.
Well, it's because Pancho's cool the whole time. Yeah. And at that point, you're like, this guy's broken.
Oh, yeah. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. Dead meat.
They should have killed him right there. Actually, no, we wouldn't have got the line.
Right. Which we would never want to get rid of the line. So my last of my three favorite scenes, which might be... It's tough. The handshake is up there, but this might be my favorite. When Mac loses his mind and starts singing.
Not a far trip for him.
No, and starts singing Little Richard's Long Tall Sally. And he's just, the way he's singing, he's like, well, Long Tall Sally's real pretty sweet. She got everything that Uncle John needs. Who, baby? Yeah, now, baby. Who, baby? Gonna have some fun tonight. Gonna have some fun tonight.
Why is it Long Tall Sally? Could it be like Short Stubby Susan? Like, does it matter? Like, why is he describing her like that?
Wait, hold on.
Who's ever described anyone long? It's like, that girl is long.
What are you talking about? They're going to Short Stubby Susan. She's so fine. She got everything that Uncle John needs. Oh, baby.
It works for anything. Medium-sized Rhonda.
I'm going to sing this as Short Stubby Susie from now on. Oh, that's coming back. That's my new drop.
I like it.
I love it. You're going to hear it.
I want a button for that.
At least 100 more times. You're going to just be sitting here talking about whatever, and you're going to hear, well, Short Stubby Susie, built pretty sweet. She got everything that Uncle John needs. Oh, baby.
Little Richard rules.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Little subtle things like when they're in the chopper and they're actually playing Long Tall Sally.
Yeah, they bring it back.
And it's foreshadowing. I love stuff like that. But yeah, when Mac loses his marbles.
Love you, bro. Well, Blaine dies.
When he does that and he really loses it, for me, I just think like that to me is like, that's how I would react if I was in this situation.
I mean, he was dry shaving before that.
He's so nuts. Remember when he killed that pig? That was pretty sweet too.
That was crazy. Isn't it weird? You always forget that scene exists and then you're like, oh yeah, it's a pig.
Yeah.
Every time you see that movie.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know what's funny? We didn't talk about very much, but this movie was originally called Hunter.
Good name, actually.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
But I guess a movie came out a year or two beforehand that had that title.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why they changed? I didn't know I thought they just wanted something that sounded better. I didn't even know that was the one.
No, Predator's awesome.
And then the last, okay, so we're doing all the character analysis, right? But the last piece of this that I thought was really cool before we get into kind of more of how we got to the chopper. The voice of the Predator was done by our friend, your friend, my friend, Peter Cullen.
Oh, no way.
The voice of Optimus Prime is who did all the...
Did you do the laugh?
No, I think that laugh is supposed to be a recording of the Billy laugh.
Really?
Yeah, because
that's even cooler.
In the Predators after that, you know how he always like records, like you hear the Predator record something.
He's the first DJ of all time.
Like, remember when Mac has Dillon walk over? Yeah, and he kills the scorpion on his shoulder. Then you hear the Predator play back anytime.
He started EDM.
Right.
The Predator.
He didn't start EDM.
I hope he did. That'll be great.
Super weird. But
why is there no DJ named the Predator?
The end of Predator, when I don't even know how to answer that question.
He could dress as the Predator.
At the end of Predator, when he starts laughing, that is the Billy laugh. He's going,
oh, cool. With a nuclear bomb that goes off and all.
Man, what a cowardly way to go, but whatever.
It was pretty cool.
It was okay.
So, what do you want him to do? Just die?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't want him to do that. So,
start tap dancing?
Max. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. We're going to show and stuff with Susie. She's so sweet. She got everything the Uncle John needs. Right. Oh, baby.
All right.
Ooh, baby. All right.
Where are we?
We're getting to the chopper.
Okay.
How did we get
close
to the chopper?
are we?
We're pretty close. So we now understand all of these kind of cool pieces, right? So we're just talking about the formation of the team. So I think we've covered all the major players. And now
Anna doesn't need to be discussed.
No.
That's the best, because normally that'd be a love interest or something.
No, she was just
cannon fodder.
Yeah, there's something to talk about, I guess. So they get the whole group together. Where's this movie shot, Max?
Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Puerto Vallarta.
But it's supposed to be communist Guatemala. And great jungle movie, too. And it's like, name your top 5 jungle movies.
I don't even... Georgia the Jungle?
That was on a film set with an animatronic gorilla and Brendan Fraser.
Disney's Tarzan?
That's animated. See, jungle movies are hard.
They're hard. Well, the conditions to shoot. Even in shooting Predator, they didn't even have the right foliage. They had to ship in like all these leaves.
Yeah, the tree that the Predator stood on wasn't a real tree. They made it out of concrete.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, so this one of our teases we were talking about before, why all the guys look like they are in great shape. It leads into 2 parts of the stories. One of the reasons they look like they were in great shape is that all of them lost 10 or 15 pounds because they were throwing up and had diarrhea.
Montezuma's revenge.
Because they were getting sick every day they were down there.
McTiernan lost 30 pounds.
Oh my God. I mean, it was tough shooting, right?
Can you imagine shooting while you're like just wasting away in 100-degree heat?
I love these types of movies where part of the kinsmanship that you see, the romanticized, brohood that you're seeing is legitimate because they're all going through Hell Week with each other. So Schwarzenegger ships an entire gym in to the jungle.
Yeah, he does. I bet he does that anywhere he goes.
I know, right?
And he goes to Nantucket for a weekend. He's like, bring a gym.
A shooting schedule for a movie like this is a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
These guys, all of them, they're getting up at 5:30 a.m. They're going running for an hour. Then they're lifting weights. Then they're shooting 12 to 15 hours. And then they're running and lifting again.
Oh, my God.
And Carl Weathers didn't work out with them, worked out on his own because he wanted everyone on set to think he just naturally
No
was
one
jacked.
naturally looks like that.
They're all like you were the one who told me about the bicep measuring Jesse Ventura story. That's amazing.
Yeah. They were so egocentric. I think Jesse, the body Ventura, bet Arnold a bottle of champagne that he had bigger biceps than him. And he did it because the costume guy told Jesse that he had bigger biceps.
And that's because Schwarzenegger bribed the costume guy to lie about what his bicep size was, right?
Yeah, this is like a conspiracy plot.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
These guys are titans, basically. Like they're Greek gods, and they just are all pushing each other to even be tougher.
What do you think Bill Duke worked out with them and ran too?
It's interesting. Like he looks like a tough built guy, but he wasn't like jacked.
So I searched on the internet for 20 minutes. I looked for Bill Duke's shirtless. Can't find it.
Your web browser, man.
Yeah.
Your web browser is something else. Sean Stubbs and Susie. She's so fun.
I mean, I could imagine him lifting with them, but also I could imagine him just ignoring them too.
The part that's...
But it seems like it's everybody.
Well, and remember, on top of the working out with each other, they're also doing military drills with each other, weapons training.
Yeah, they had
with
2
each
weeks
other.
of weapon training and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So because when they go down the mountain, it looks real.
Oh yeah, when they're sliding in the leaves and the
50-meter sweep, double time.
Yeah. I want his body found.
Yeah.
They so all of these things, you just think about like going to college and you rush a fraternity, or
I got kicked out of a fraternity.
I bet you did. Or in high school, you join your football team and you go through double days. Like there are these things that when like Navy SEALs go through Hell Week.
Oh yeah.
There are these things that bond you, and you could tell these guys had just incredible chemistry with each other during the whole movie.
Yeah, it's a unit.
Yeah.
They feel it works. That's why people do this stuff.
It absolutely works. So they get there. And there's, they're working out, they're filming, they're shooting, and they get about one of the things that this movie did that was a benefit for two huge reasons. One is the sequence of filming saved the movie. We'll talk about that in a second. But the second part of it is it's like Jaws. The greatest part about Jaws is you don't even see the shark until you're, 2/3 of the way through the movie?
You see the fin, you see like floating
music,
feet.
the dun-dun, dun-dun. And they did such a great job of making a movie like that. So this, again, is different than your traditional action films where it's always the big alien shoot and or the big monster or the bad guys. In this one,
It's what's behind the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it builds
And for both reasons, because they didn't have the monster in either one.
Right. Well, and additionally, so this is the part that I was talking about before, where it was a huge benefit to them is they basically shoot the whole film up to the part where Hawking's body is being dragged into the
Sequentially, which is rare.
very rare, and the camouflaged hand of the predator is dragging Hawkins into the forest, and then they
So
unload.
cool.
Yeah, so cool. And they unload all of the.
Is that Jean Claude's hand?
No, I don't know. That's a
Might
great
be,
question.
yeah.
It might be. They send all this back to the producers, and they're out of money. Right, the budget's gone. They're out of money. And they
$18
send
million
back-
film when it all said
which
and
is
done.
crazy if you think about it. But
Yeah.
they send it back to the producers, who watch the first half of the movie and realize, oh my god, like they realize what we realize. This is the greatest movie ever.
First half's the best half,
Right,
if
right.
you think about it.
And they say, okay, we're going to get more money and we're going to get rid of this Mr. Krabs,
Jean-Claude
Van Damme Predator,
just hopping around the forest.
and we're going to get you a real one. And that, this theme that we're dealing with about how did we get to the chopper and just these things that had to have fallen perfectly in place. That leads to a coincidence that I think makes the whole difference of the whole movie. So they go hire Stan Winston,
The best.
the best.
Terminator. He was friends with Arnold from Terminator.
And he also did the Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, when it comes to making monsters,
Yeah.
he is the gold standard.
What a credentialed guy. It's unbelievable. I picture him as basically the guy from FX, the movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he's like that guy.
He is that. Like, he's the one you go to. And so they find Stan Winston. They take a dump truck of money up to him. They hire him to redesign the Predator.
God, I want a dump truck. Come on.
He hops on a long... Are you ready for this? This is beautiful. He hops on...
He hops on a long and you stop?
He hops on a long flight to Japan.
He does.
And who is sitting next to him on that flight? James Cameron.
Jimmy C.
James Cameron, okay?
Who he's friends with.
Who he's friends with. Who, I just envision that you got Stan Winston with his sketch pad
Yep.
working on a few things. James Cameron looks over his shoulder, says, I always wanted to do a monster or an alien with mandibles.
Mandible. So scary.
Add some mandibles to that.
It's so scary. It's what makes it.
That's it.
Spider face.
This is how we got to the chopper, is that Stan Winston was on a flight with James Cameron, and the two of them collaborated on this flight, and Stan Winston gets off, and boom, you got your new Predator.
Yeah. Giant Rastafarian, spider face, and high tech, and also just big and burly alien.
Yeah.
Nothing even close to it.
Nothing.
Has anything ever done high tech and also just naturally a beast like that?
Right.
Ever?
Ever.
Yeah.
Nothing. And
not since.
If you look at his other work too, I mean, you look at Alien, right? Like the mother
So
Alien.
creepy.
I mean, they do an amazing job on all of those.
He likes wet aliens.
He does. Well, and mandibles,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
So they come back. They get this new Predator. The technology that they used could have been a mess too. This whole thermographic camera that they were using.
So cool.
Well, the problem they ran into though is they're shooting all this, right? So the new Predator suit weighs 200 pounds. They put that on your ballet friend.
That's insane.
Insane. In the jungle.
And he moves really well.
93 degrees in the jungle, uneven terrain, 200 pounds.
And he's like jumping tree to tree stuff. Yeah.
So they put that on him.
Good for him. I have more respect for him.
Oh yeah, the Predator vision that they used, they had to do a lot of that in post because it wasn't even working the way they wanted to, because thermographic imaging cameras basically take the difference in heat. So like if you're 90 degrees and the temperature around you is 40 degrees, you can distinguish the difference. It was so hot outside that you couldn't even distinguish the difference in what you were looking at. So
the Thomas Crown corollary.
Yeah.
Remember when he heats up the...
I do remember that,
yeah.
so you can get through the lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
McTiernan. All right. He
Oh,
maybe
God,
stole it.
How do I know that? How do I know? I'm such a nerd that I know that. So they... the blood from the Predator, they used glow sticks. Like they have all these weird little
and
things.
KY jelly.
I know, the weirdest thing to combine. It's just everything worked. And so they get it. They shoot the film. Schwarzenegger gets married during this movie.
3 days.
And takes 3 days off to go on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
Comes back. Can you imagine? And just rolls back in like nothing happened.
That seems like a very Arnold thing to do. That's just
Right.
how he lived his life.
Right.
He's like, come with me.
Come with me if you want to get married.
Is that how he proposed?
It probably is.
Just his hand out.
His hand out. Come with me. The choppers are empty. Oh man. So they
Scariest monster of all time, you think?
cool.
Alien scarier?
I don't know. I see.
The way Alien's born is scarier.
This is why I differ a little bit with you. I'm thinking that the last fight scene was so. It's almost like in Jaws. Like I found Jaws to be scarier throughout the rest of the movie, except at the end when you.
Are you
actually
kidding
look
me?
at it.
When he gets like cut in half and he's like with the extra blood coming out of his mouth.
You're talking about Jaws now.
Yes,
Your scream in Jaws is pretty good too.
It's not bad.
Why can you do these great imitations of people getting murdered in movies?
because I'm so neurotic and frantic. I get
that does work.
It's in my soul.
The interesting thing about Predator, just in general as a film, is that I saw this. So you saw this film when you were 25 years old.
Yeah. When did you see it?
Oh, okay. So it came out in 87. I was born in 78. So I would have been 9 or 10 when it came out, but I didn't see it until about 2 years after it came out, maybe a year after. I was probably 10 or 11 years old when I saw
That
this
sounds
movie.
a little early, but right. Like that's.
I probably could have been a couple years older.
Were you freaked out?
I was terrified. So at the end of the movie, when they play like the trumpet, like the military trumpet,
With the guy smiling and all.
and they start showing all the characters coming back and
Yeah.
saying hi. Which, by the way, I have a theory. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Okay.
I think that Chubbs from Happy Gilmore
What?
is in fact Dillon from
Oh my
Predator.
God.
Well, think about it, right? Dillon loses his arm.
He does. Chubbs loses his hand.
Chubbs loses his hand. Dillon loses it to a predator. Chubbs loses it to
Crocodile, similar to a
That's
predator.
a predator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Something
like
to
it.
think about. Something to
It's
consider.
all in the hips.
He was in the CIA, so he had to obviously
Was
be.
Chubbs in the CIA?
No, I don't think Chubbs in the. But like they get Dillon out of there.
Yeah.
And what do they got to do? Like they can't let anyone know who he is. The CIA. You get a new identity,
I love it. You
Yeah.
never see Dillon die. He
No.
screams.
right?
Yeah.
So little food for thought. I think that Dillon might be Chubbs. So just something to think.
Love
about.
it.
Yeah,
I do.
Let's go with it.
Like, I have a theory that Robin Williams from the Dead Poet Society is the same Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting after his wife died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's broken. He's still really smart. He's caring.
Could be.
Yeah.
God, what a Dead Poet Society is such a beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Captain, my captain. Bone marrow of life.
Unbelievable. Carpe diem.
The Predator like bone marrow. He
did.
got the most out of life. You think he was reading Henry David Thoreau?
You know, on that note, when we start talking about Dead Poet Society at the end of a Predator podcast, I can tell that we're wrapping. So
That's the inclination. That's the
my
indicator.
trigger. That's my internal clock saying it's time to wrap.
So you specific.
I think we did a nice job showing everyone how we got to the chopper. The overall theme, if you haven't picked up on it yet, is that Max and I love this movie.
Best.
And great movies don't happen by accident. There's all these factors that just play into it.
It's the Woodstock corollary. It's all a mess until it's perfect, and then you can laugh about how we got here.
And this was my Woodstock. Predator was my Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show it, stop it, Susie!
Oh, goodbye, Billy.
Goodbye. Thank you for those of us who joined us today. And Max, any closing thoughts on Predator before we sign off?
The score rules, music-wise. Yeah. Just great.
And you know, it sounds like I bet you it's the same guy. The music sounds very similar to Back to the Future. The score is very similar.
I think it's Bill Conti who did a lot of stuff.
I bet you Conti did both of these.
Good, like you know him. Conti did it.
Yeah, Billy C. We're on first name basis with everyone. What else? Any other thoughts on Predator? I think you did a nice job. You did your homework. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Especially since you just saw this movie for the first time.
I want to know how. I looked this up. I couldn't find out how they made Dillon's arm look so realistic. Because it looks like.
Oh, you mean after it's cut off and it's shooting on the ground?
Because it's Carl Weathers' arm. Because forearms like that are unique.
Think they did a mold? They probably did a mold.
Or when it fell to the ground, it was his. Like they quick cut it, and it's just him buried under the leaves. Maybe.
Could be.
I don't know.
I find it amazing that that's how you want to end. That's your one sticking in your craw thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's
Do
great.
you know what mine is?
What? Why I thought of that?
All I want in my life is to be financially stable enough to hire a production company so that my friends and I, you included, can go reshoot scenes from Predator.
Oh, Predator Fantasy Camp?
Predator Fantasy Camp.
That'd be awesome.
Tell me right now, I can tell you, I know for a fact, I know 5 people right now that would cut a check for as much as they could afford to go to Predator Fantasy
I
Camp.
love, we think
Although,
it's.
can we not call it Predator Fantasy Camp? Because that sounds like a really inappropriate place. After you said, I was like, show it, stop it, Susan.
But I think after day 1 of 5:30, wake up and working out.
No. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to shoot the scenes.
Okay, we're doing scene by scene?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. This is a real special hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, hour whatever we spent doing this.
Felt like minutes, but it was probably days.
It was special to me, and I'm just glad I could share this journey with you in the jungle.
I'm emotional about this.
I'm big emotional about this. If you enjoyed listening to us, please go to our social media channels. We're on every social media platform out there that you can imagine, and you can find us by looking for our handle at Buzzn the Tower, Buzzn. And if you are listening to us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Apple Podcasts and iTunes are the same thing. I sound so old. If you're listening to us on Apple iTunes Podcast, right?
Back in my day,
And
uphill both ways.
or
No
Spotify.
shoes.
Hey, anytime.
Do it now.
Oh, you did the worst "do it now" ever.
Damn. Do it.
Do it now.
That's better.
If you would please, for the love of God, like us, follow us, rate us, give us 20 stars, 40 stars.
Needy much? Jesus.
I'm super needy because if we want to do more Predator podcasts, we need the good stars.
Hey, if you like it, that's cool. Play cool.
Oh,
Be Jake Ryan.
You are so Jake Ryan.
Ferris
right now.
Bueller, Marty McFly, channel it.
I'm Louis Skolnick, okay?
Okay, do that. On that note,
have a great night.
later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.